Thank you so much for having me here today. I am just as nervous as I am excited, and I'm very, very excited. Today I'm going to tell you about an innovation a small team of us from Cambridge developed while participating in the HALT Global Case Challenge, which is the largest crowdsourcing initiative in the world. And we were challenged to create a business model that could basically solve the global water crisis. Easy, right? Well, more specifically, we were asked the question, can you create a business model that will give 100 million people access to clean water and sanitation, 100 million people living in urban slums, access to clean water and sanitation in just 5 years? The reality is this is just a drop in the bucket when you're thinking in relation to the entire crisis we face. And we thought we need a solution which is at the scale of the problem. Well, did you know that we live in a very strange world where there are 2.5 billion people that don't have a toilet, 1 billion people that don't have access to clean water. At the same time, 5.1 billion people have a mobile phone. That's 68% of people living in developing countries. And unlike you and me, who have a network of lifelines that support our lives, whether it's internet, phones, TV, government, and so many others, for the 4 billion people living at the bottom of the pyramid, their mobile phone is the lifeline. Mobile phones power the lives of the poor. It is their connection to enhance livelihoods, mobile banking services, even healthcare advice and education tools. As an aggregate, the poor are spending $51.4 billion a year on their mobile phones. Now, the year I spent living and working in rural India, I was astounded to find that farmers were keeping up to 4 mobile phones in their homes. And when I spoke to one and asked him why this was the case, he told me it was so he could stay connected despite the intermittent access to electricity. So basically, he kept all 4 of them charged just to make sure one was always working. And in his words, he said this is how compulsory the mobile phone is to his livelihood. And let's not be mistaken, when it comes to getting connected, the poor have choice. In India, they can choose from up to 15 different telecom providers. In Nigeria, they can choose from up to 5, and that number is quickly increasing. So what that means is that telecoms are competing for customers, even at the bottom of the pyramid. And because of this, the industry is becoming increasingly commoditized. And this isn't the first time we've seen this happen. We've seen this happen with airlines, with hotel groups, and probably the one you and I are most familiar with, credit cards. So what did these industries do to escape their commodity trap? They tied our transactions. They innovated to tie our transactions to something we really care about. To put it simply, they created loyalty programs. So how do we make the mobile connector the water connection? We create a loyalty program that allows communities to earn credit towards building water and sanitation infrastructure in their neighborhoods every time they top up their mobile phone. It may seem complicated, but it's really simple. We call it m.Paani. m.Paani brings the proven and profitable business model of loyalty programs to the bottom of the pyramid by tying the ingrained and accelerating behavior of mobile phone usage to something communities really care about: water and sanitation. So how does it work? Well, first we need to set up the infrastructure. Communities, potentially structured as self-help groups, take out a water and sanitation loan from a microfinance institution. They use this loan to build water and sanitation infrastructure in their community. Now, the second part works by partnering with a local telecom provider. We create a bottom-of-the-pyramid loyalty program that allows communities to earn water points. So now, every time you top up your mobile phone, you earn water points for your community. These water points equate to money that collects in a community-owned drop fund. And this drop fund is managed locally by the community. Now, the funds from the drop fund first go towards repaying and helping the community repay the water and sanitation loan they had initially taken out. Once those loans are repaid, the fund is going to continue to grow because people are going to continue to use their mobile phones. And the money accrued over time can then go towards maintenance of the infrastructure and further education of the community in hygiene practices and other critical issues. And the final part is that the community pays for their usage of water and any other services via the mobile phone and receives a marginal discount for staying with the local telecom provider. Now, this is a great idea, but do the economics actually work? So today, we're going to visit Kianda. Kianda is a settlement in Kibera, one of the largest urban slums in the world, located in Kenya. Kianda has a population of 15,000 people, thereabouts. And between them, they share 115 water connections and 285 toilets. At the same time, each household in Kianda, on average, is spending $160.5 a year on their mobile phone. That means, as an aggregate, the settlement of Kianda is spending $751,000 a year on their mobile phones. So what would the future of Kianda look like with m.Paani? Well, if you run the numbers and you see that they're spending $751,000 a year on their mobile phones, and we apply an m.Paani loyalty incentive of 5%, which, let me add, is lower than the acquisition cost of a poor customer in both India and Africa, you find that our drop fund grows at a rate of about $37,000 per year. And if you do the math on that, that equates to 442 new water connections and sanitation points in the first year alone. So today in Kianda, 41 households share 1 water point and 1 toilet. With m.Paani, within the first year alone, this would drop to 8 households, then to 4, to 2.5, to 1.5, and by the 5th year, each household in Kianda would have the ability to have their own water point and their own toilet. We believe that m.Paani creates self-reinforcing cycles of economic growth. And when the loans are repaid, the first part of the platform can act as a revolving fund and scale and bring the model to other communities. And our business model, we believe, is not an innovation in water and sanitation. It's an innovation in development financing. It can be used, as we've shown, to help communities invest in water and sanitation infrastructure, but it can be used to invest in education, it can be used to invest in health, it can be used to invest in energy, and frankly, it empowers communities to be able to invest in anything they want to improve their livelihoods. We believe it's an open architecture to local solutions. It's a DNA. This business model will work anywhere in the world where you have high mobile penetration among the poor and telecoms competing for the poor customer. And the fact is that this is happening in pretty much every developing country in the world today. Now, how you tailor the mechanics of the model on the ground obviously should be tailored to the local conditions, but the essence of the business model works everywhere. Now, we believe this is a business model that's good for business and good for communities. It empowers communities to invest in their own futures, be healthier, more productive, and more importantly, live a more dignified way of life. It's good for telecoms because it allows them to build loyalty in an industry that experiences high churn, potentially increase their margins, and for us, most importantly, engage a community which is now which is now the fastest growing industry in the world in emerging markets, and allow them to do good while they're making a lot of money. Now, I've told you about this business model, and we spoke to people who are a lot smarter than us, and this is what they had to say about it. And I'm really excited to speak to all of you here today because I'm hoping to connect with people who are excited about the idea and can really engage with us and help us take it forward. And I'm really looking forward to learning from all of you. So thank you very much for your time.